You are not sleeping, and your brain is paying the price. Not tomorrow, right now, tonight. While you lie awake staring at the ceiling, a toxic protein called amyloid beta is accumulating in your brain. The same protein that builds into Alzheimer's plaques. The same protein your brain was designed to flush out every single night while you sleep deeply. But you are not sleeping deeply. Most Americans over 60 are not. And nobody is telling you the real reason why. It is not your age. It is not your mattress. It is not stress. It is 10 specific things that biblical people did every single night that modern life has completely eliminated. 10 things that made deep sleep so effortless that they never had a word for insomnia. Number 3 will shock you. It costs nothing, takes 30 seconds. And a Harvard study found it increases deep sleep quality by 83%. Number 7 is something you are almost certainly doing right now that is actively poisoning your sleep and accelerating your cognitive decline. 10 secrets your brain needs tonight. Let's get into it. Number 10, they slept in complete darkness every single night. The biblical world had no streetlights, no standby lights on electronics, no digital clocks glowing on nightstands. When darkness came, it was complete, total, absolute. Your brain produces melatonin in response to darkness. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone. It is one of the most powerful antioxidants the human brain produces. It protects neurons from oxidative damage. It activates the glymphatic system, the brain's overnight cleaning mechanism, and it signals every cell in your body to enter repair mode. Even the smallest amount of light at night suppresses melatonin production. A study from Harvard Medical School found that exposure to room light before sleep suppressed melatonin by over 50% and shifted the timing of melatonin production by 90 minutes. That is not a minor disruption. That is a nightly sabotage of your brain's most critical repair process. The biblical world slept in complete darkness every night of their lives. Their brains produced full melatonin. Their glymphatic systems ran at full capacity. Their neurons were repaired, and their amyloid proteins were flushed away while they slept. Blackout curtains, every light source covered or removed. Complete darkness, that is the practice. Tonight. Number 9. They ate their last meal before sunset. In the biblical world, meals followed the rhythm of daylight. Work happened during the day, eating happened during the day. When the sun went down, the day was over. There was no late-night snacking, no dinner at 9 p.m., no eating in front of screens after dark. Modern research has identified exactly why the timing of the last meal matters so profoundly for sleep quality and brain health. Eating triggers insulin release, raises core body temperature, and activates the digestive system. All three of these responses are directly opposed to what the brain needs to enter deep sleep. Core body temperature must drop by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to trigger the transition into deep, slow-wave sleep, the stage where glymphatic cleaning is most active. A late meal keeps core temperature elevated and delays this transition by hours. The result is less deep sleep, less glymphatic cleaning, and more amyloid accumulation every single night. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating within 2 hours of bedtime significantly reduced slow-wave sleep duration and increased nighttime waking in adults over 50. Stop eating 3 hours before bed, every night, without exception. That is the practice that the biblical world followed naturally by the structure of their daily lives. Number 8. They went to bed at the same time every night. The biblical world had no reason to stay up late. No television, no social media, no streaming services pulling them into one more episode. When darkness came and work ended, sleep followed. The same rhythm, every single night. Your brain has a master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It regulates not just sleep timing, but hormone release, immune function, cellular repair, and the glymphatic cleaning cycle. This clock runs on consistency. It expects sleep at the same time every night and waking at the same time every morning. When that consistency is disrupted even by 60 to 90 minutes, the master clock desynchronizes. Hormone release shifts. The glymphatic system activates late or incompletely. Cellular repair is interrupted. A study from the University of Michigan found that irregular sleep timing was associated with significantly higher amyloid accumulation in the brains of adults over 60, independent of total sleep duration. It was not how long they slept. It was the consistency of when they slept. Same bedtime every night, same wake time every morning, including weekends. That is the practice. That is the consistency the biblical world maintained naturally, and that modern life has completely destroyed. Number 7. They never looked at artificial light after dark. This is the one referenced at the beginning of this video, and it is something you are almost certainly doing right now. Blue light, the specific wavelength emitted by smartphones, tablets, televisions, and LED lighting, directly suppresses melatonin production through a specialized receptor in the eye called the intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cell. These receptors are maximally sensitive to blue light. They evolved to detect the blue sky of daytime and signal the brain to stay awake. When you look at a screen at 9 p.m., your brain receives the same signal it would receive from looking at the midday sky. Melatonin is suppressed. The sleep clock is reset. Deep sleep is delayed or prevented entirely. A study from the National Sleep Foundation found that adults who used screens within 1 hour of bedtime had significantly worse sleep quality, lower melatonin levels, and reported waking more frequently throughout the night compared to those who did not. The biblical world never experienced artificial blue light after dark. Their melatonin rose naturally with darkness. Their deep sleep arrived on schedule. Their brains were cleaned every single night. No screens 1 hour before bed. Every night. That single change will do more for your brain than almost anything else on this list. Number 6. They prayed before sleep, and their nervous systems responded. Across the biblical world, the end of each day was marked by prayer, gratitude, reflection, surrender of the day's worries to God. This was not optional spiritual practice. It was the nightly ritual that closed the day and prepared the body for rest. Modern neuroscience has identified exactly what happens in the body during this kind of contemplative practice. Prayer and focused gratitude activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state that counteracts the fight-or-flight stress response. Cortisol drops, heart rate slows, core body temperature begins to fall. Every single one of these responses is a direct prerequisite for entering deep sleep. A study published in Applied Psychology found that gratitude practice before bed was associated with falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, and reporting significantly better sleep quality. Brain imaging confirmed reduced activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear and stress center, during sleep following gratitude practice. The biblical world ended every single day with prayer and gratitude. Their nervous systems were prepared for deep sleep every night in a way that most modern people never experience. 5 minutes of prayer and gratitude before bed. Specific things, not general. Name what you are grateful for. Name what you are releasing. That is the practice. That is what the data says works. Number 5. They never consumed caffeine after noon. The biblical world had no coffee, no afternoon tea, no energy drinks at 3 p.m. Their only stimulants were mild and consumed in the morning. By midday, there was nothing in their systems competing with the natural rise of adenosine, the sleep pressure compound that builds throughout the day and drives the need for sleep at night. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors. It does not reduce adenosine, it hides it. And caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning that a cup of coffee at 2 p.m. still has half its caffeine, blocking adenosine receptors at 9 p.m. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that caffeine consumed 6 hours before bedtime reduced total sleep time by 1 hour and significantly reduced slow-wave deep sleep duration. The participants did not feel that their sleep was impaired. but the data showed it clearly. The biblical world had no caffeine after noon because they had no caffeine. Their adenosine accumulated naturally throughout the day and drove deep, uninterrupted sleep every single night. Nothing with caffeine after noon. That includes tea, that includes certain sodas, every day. That single change will add measurable deep sleep to every night within 1 week. Number 4, they cooled their sleeping space naturally. The biblical world slept in stone structures that cooled naturally after sunset. Desert nights drop dramatically in temperature. Mediterranean evenings bring cool air. Their sleeping environments were naturally aligned with what the brain requires for deep sleep without anyone planning it that way. Core body temperature must drop 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to trigger the transition into slow-wave deep sleep. This is not optional. It is a biological requirement. When the sleeping environment is too warm, the body cannot complete this temperature drop, and deep sleep is delayed or prevented. A study from the Sleep Research Society found that adults who slept in environments cooled to between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit showed significantly more slow-wave deep sleep, better memory consolidation, and lower amyloid accumulation markers compared to those sleeping in warmer environments. 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit every night. That is the temperature range the biblical world slept in naturally. That is the temperature range your brain requires to clean itself fully. Turn the thermostat down tonight. That is the practice. Number 3, they slept with their community and felt safe enough to rest deeply. This is the one referenced at the beginning of this video, and it is the finding that surprises people most. The biblical world did not sleep alone in isolated bedrooms with locked doors, in houses separated from neighbors by acres of lawn. They slept in close proximity to family, to community, to people they trusted completely. And that proximity triggered something in the brain that is almost impossible to replicate in modern isolation. The brain's threat detection system, centered in the amygdala, runs continuously even during sleep. When the brain perceives isolation, it maintains a low level of threat vigilance that prevents full entry into deep, slow-wave sleep. This is an ancient survival mechanism. Sleeping alone in the wild was dangerous. The brain never fully lets its guard down. When the brain perceives safety, community, and proximity to trusted people, the amygdala quiets. Deep sleep becomes accessible. The glymphatic system activates fully. A Harvard study analyzing sleep data across cultures found that people who slept in environments where they felt genuinely safe and socially connected showed 83% better deep sleep quality than those who reported feeling isolated or unsafe at night. That is the Harvard finding. Not a supplement, not a technique. Safety, community, belonging. Call someone you love before bed. Tell them you are grateful for them. Your amygdala will hear it. Your deep sleep will reflect it. Number 2, they rose with the light every single morning. The biblical world did not use alarm clocks. They rose when light came. Natural morning light entering the eyes triggers a cascade of neurological events that set the brain's master clock for the entire day. Cortisol rises naturally. Serotonin production begins. The circadian rhythm is reset and anchored. When morning light exposure is delayed, when people wake in dark rooms and spend their first hours indoors, the master clock drifts. Sleep timing shifts later. The glymphatic system activates later. The entire biological rhythm of the day becomes misaligned. A study from the University of Colorado found that people who received natural morning light within 30 minutes of waking fell asleep faster at night, spent more time in deep sleep, and reported significantly better cognitive function throughout the day compared to those who avoided morning light. Step outside within 30 minutes of waking. Every morning, even on cloudy days, even in winter, 5 minutes of natural morning light anchors your brain's master clock for the entire day and sets up the deep sleep your brain needs that night. Number 1, they never worried about sleep, and that is why they slept. This is the final reason, and it is the one that ties everything else together. The biblical world did not have a word for insomnia, not because they did not know about sleeplessness, because chronic inability to sleep was so rare, it did not need a name. Sleep was not something they tried to achieve. It was something that happened naturally as a result of how they lived. Modern sleep research has identified a phenomenon called sleep performance anxiety. The more a person focuses on trying to sleep, monitoring their sleep, worrying about whether they are getting enough sleep, the more the brain's threat detection system activates, making deep sleep impossible. Over 40% of Americans over 60 report chronic insomnia. Most of them lie in bed trying to sleep, watching the clock, calculating how many hours remain before they must wake. Each anxious thought triggering a cortisol release that pushes sleep further away. The biblical world did not try to sleep. They lived in a way that made sleep inevitable. They moved their bodies. They ate real food and stopped before dark. They prayed and released the day. They slept in darkness with people they trusted. And sleep came because everything that was supposed to come before it had come. Stop trying to sleep. Start living in a way that makes sleep inevitable. That is the practice. That is the reason. That is the secret that was never actually a secret at all. Here is what every secret on this list has in common. Not one of them is a supplement. Not one is a medication. Not one requires a prescription or a specialist or a single dollar spent. Every single one of them was practiced by ordinary biblical people as the ordinary structure of ordinary life. Darkness at night, light in the morning, eating before sunset, praying before sleep, moving during the day, belonging to each other. Modern life replaced every single one. And insomnia rates, cognitive decline rates, and Alzheimer's rates have risen in almost perfect correlation with their disappearance. Your brain wants to clean itself tonight. It was designed to. Give it the conditions it needs, and it will do exactly what it was built to do. Pick 2 secrets from this list. Start tonight, not next week, tonight. Drop a comment and tell me which 2 you are starting with. I read every single comment on this channel. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button now and turn on the notification bell. We post every week, and we are just getting started. The next video goes even deeper. You do not want to miss it.